Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, I just wanted to go over this preview for this game. This preview video is going to be a little bit different than the past 3 preview weeks. One, because I actually thought that the Giants should have won those past 3 games before I made those videos. The Broncos, now it's looking like they're one of the good teams in the league. I don't know if they're a great team so far, but they're looking like they're one of the good teams. Washington, we should have won that game, and even looking back, we should have won it. And the Falcons, we definitely should have won that game. I mean, we dominated the ball pretty much for 3 quarters, made just enough mistakes to basically lose the game for us. Now, the New Orleans Saints, I have a lot more respect for as far as how good they are, as far as their offense and their defense. I think they have one of the more talented rosters in the league, if you want to be frank. I mean, they have maybe a little bit of deficit at wide receiver, but other than that, I expect their offense to move because they have a great Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion, who's one of the greatest offensive minds of all time. And he's going to make sure that offense is humming. I think they're averaging 24 a game right now. Jameis Winston is playing a different brand of football than he usually plays. Now, he is coming off of a game where he threw, I think, 2 interceptions, or maybe he had, he threw 2 interceptions on the 19th. So that was 2 games ago where he did that. He's been pretty much being an efficient quarterback besides that one game. They were able to go up and beat New England 28-13. Jameis Winston is a brand new guy. He's a brand new guy. Now, his completion percentage isn't as high, but he's taking a lot more deep shots, and he's not turning the ball over at the same rate that he was before. Now, he did have that 1 touchdown he threw last week where it looked like it pretty much should have been intercepted. But look at his yardage. I mean, 128 yards, 111 yards, and 148 yards. Not a lot of yardage at all. It looks really like a running back's kind of stats or a receiver stats. So I expect that yardage to go up for them this week because the Giants defense has been really allowing quarterbacks to pass at first, a very high completion rate, and second, they've been passing at a very, they've been allowing a lot of completions and a lot of yards. So I expect his completions and yardage to go up. That's just me being frank about it. I just do. Definitely more than 148 is the most he's thrown for. Maybe that results in some interceptions. That would be great for the Giants. But Jameis is doing his thing. 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not a bad ratio so far. And then when you look at their running back, really the star of the show and someone I think can beat us pretty much by himself. They use Alvin Kamara the exact same way that we should be using Saquon Barkley. But we don't use Saquon that way, and that's going to be a whole different other thing. But Alvin Kamara is an all-purpose back. He can run the ball between the tackles. People don't like to realize that, but he can run the ball between the tackles, and so can their backup Tony Jones. He can run it off tackle. He can run sweeps. He can catch screens. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can line up as a fullback. Whatever you want Alvin Kamara to do on offense, he pretty much can do. He is pretty much exactly what we want Saquon to be, except he's in a better system and he's actually being used. Now, I know some Saints fans are probably going to pop here, and from what I've seen, the Saints fans are cool here, but they're probably going to have the whole discussion about Saquon versus Alvin Kamara. At this point, to me, it's pointless because Saquon is not going to be able to be put in the same position to succeed like Alvin Kamara does. But Alvin Kamara, nonetheless, is going to be someone that is very difficult to stop in this Saints offense. He's the number 1 person we have to worry about in the running game and the passing game. Now, I expect us to limit them in the run game because the Giants' run defense, I don't know what the stats say, but if you look at what they usually do throughout the game, they usually are very good at stopping the run. So I expect them to get him very involved in the pass game. I expect to see some screen passes. I expect to see a lot of extensions of the run to go towards Alvin Kamara because they actually are great at getting their guys passes and getting their guys the ball in space. And the Giants have a couple of guys that they decided not to do that with. Callaway, Marquez Callaway, he's been balling. Not at the same level he was at the beginning, but he's been doing a little bit. Caught a nice touchdown last week. Deontay Harris is their leading receiver at this point. And again, I mean, it's all up to what we think will happen against this defense, this Giants defense, if, some of these receivers will get more yards than they've been getting so far. But looking at the Saints defense, and by the way, their offensive line is one of the best in the league, in my opinion. But looking at their defense, you got Cam Jordan, you got Peyton Turner, you got some pass rush there. You definitely have some pass rush ability. They have that linebacker. See if I can pull him up. I know exactly who it is. It's at the tip of my tongue. It's at the tip of my tongue. They have Demario Davis. There we go. Long time, really solid linebacker that they have out there, and he's going to be the best linebacker on the field with Blake Martinez gone. He's a solid player. Malcolm Jenkins is getting up there, but he's still a solid, smart player that can definitely get in position to catch any kind of interception or tip. Or he's a smart player, and he's always someone that's in a position to make smart plays. So he's there. You got Lattimore there. You got Paulson Adebo, who's a rookie I really liked. I really liked Paulson Adebo coming out, and I thought that he could have been a plug-and-play starter wherever he went, and it looks like he's starting for them. I think he got an interception a couple of weeks ago, got 2 pass deflections, so Paulson Adebo, or 1 pass deflection I see here, but Paulson Adebo is doing his thing, and that's what I expected. So they have 2 solid corners. Now, Adebo is a rookie, and he doesn't necessarily have all of the long speed in the world, but they're not going to leave him on an island. So they got 2 good corners, in my opinion. They got the line. They've got guys that can stop the run there. They have really got a good defense going on there. So what the Giants have to do, continue to do exactly what you do in between the 20s, except when the Giants get in the red zone, they have to figure out a way to score. It's just that simple. I mean, execution is what the Giants need to do here. You have to get down in the red zone. You have to, when you get there, don't have false start penalties. Don't have holding penalties. Don't give up a sack. Don't have a bad snap. Don't drop the bad snap. Get down in the red zone. Capitalize when you get there. And we should be in this game. Now, when we're in this game, we have to, again, not mess up what we put ourselves in position to do. When we get ourselves in that position, capitalize on that. If there's an interception in your hand, catch the interception. If there's a touchdown in your hand, please catch the football. Now, schematically, we're going to be missing Sterling Shepard, and we're going to be missing Darius Slayton. The Sterling Shepard miss is huge. He's had all the chemistry in the world with Daniel Jones. He's been one of the biggest reasons why we've been able to move the chains consistently this season. We just haven't been able to capitalize in the red zone. But with Sterling Shepard out, that's going to be huge. Darius Slayton, I think a lot of his reps will be replaced by Colin Johnson, the second-year receiver out of Texas, and probably John Ross. So I'm not seeing us missing Darius Slayton much because we have 2 guys that can kind of fill his role. But we don't have any route runner guy that has that kind of chemistry with Daniel Jones. So it'll be interesting to see what do they do with that spot where Sterling Shepard probably won't be. Do you put Kenny Golladay in the slot? Do you use Kenny Golladay as that possession receiver and just have DJ target him in that intermediate area? I'm interested to see. But what I really believe the Giants need to do is, I'm not going to say that we need to just start running the football, because it doesn't seem like we have the ability to do that with this offensive line. So what we need to do is what I said to do 2 weeks ago. It's what I said to do last week. We have 2 guys who I believe are probably in the top 10 of people that you do not want with the ball in their hands in open space if you're the opponent. And first is Saquon Barkley, and we all know who that is. And then the second is Kadarius Toney. Get the ball in their hands, whether it has to be behind the line of the scrimmage, whether you have to run options with Kadarius Toney and Saquon, whether it has to be a shuttle kind of pass where you're throwing basically a screen kind of play and you're throwing it forward, whatever you have to do, get the ball into their hands and let them make plays after the catch. Run routes, get them on drags, let them get one-on-ones with defenders and let them win those one-on-ones. Put Kadarius Toney on kick and punt return. I'm going to repeat it now. Put Kadarius Toney on kick and punt returns, because we need big plays to win games. The Saints have not had a bunch of high yardage games so far. Jameis Winston has pretty much been efficient, but it's coming. It's coming. And we need someone that's going to we need to be able to counteract that. We have to put points on the board, and when we get into the red zone, we have to execute. Now, the defense, good luck. we're missing Blake Martinez. That's going to be a huge loss. James Bradbury's been struggling so far. They don't have any dominant wide receivers. I'm sure Saints fans are going to come to this video after they probably beat us and talk about how someone was a dominant wide receiver. But you got to realize the Giants' defense right now isn't very good. So they don't have necessarily a dominant wide receiver. And on paper, you would look at James Bradbury and Adoree Jackson and say, that should be a pretty easy matchup. But once you introduce Alvin Kamara, once you start to introduce the fact that we have issues in the middle of the field with covering running backs and tight ends, that's going to be issues. And it'll be issues for those receivers coming across the middle of the field too. So we have got to be able to limit the passes in the middle of the field. And we've got to be able to limit the yak. Alvin Kamara is a yak monster. He is someone who is elusive. He looks like a wide receiver almost, but he runs still like a running back. He is a running back, and he can carry tacklers, 8, 10 extra yards. So get guys down when they catch the ball, and I think that's the best way to limit this Saints offense. Don't allow those big plays over the top to Marquez Callaway, and tackle Alvin Kamara and tackle everybody else when they get the ball in open space. That's the shot that we have at winning this game. Right now, I'm not going to say that the Giants win this game. It doesn't still seem realistic to me. They have to prove it. They have to prove that they can execute and not have these crucial mistakes. But I will say that this game should be an interesting game, at least through 3 quarters, at least through 3.5 quarters. We'll see how they can execute and try to see if they can close out a game and get their first win of the season. But you guys, let me know how you're feeling going into this game. I'm feeling kind of... I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect coming from this team. I wouldn't be surprised if we scored 30-plus points because we've been moving the ball all season. We just haven't been able to capitalize. And I wouldn't be surprised if we scored no points because we have not been able to capitalize. So you guys let me know what you're hoping for this game. Let me know if you happen to be in New Orleans and you're going to the game. But right now, what I'll predict is the Saints 28, the Giants 17. That's my prediction right now. Hopefully, me picking another team to win gets us our first win of the season. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.